they talking real loud, spreading on lies, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading on lies, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading on lies, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream.
All right, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so with that all being said, also don't forget to double check and make sure you're still subscribed to the channel, especially if you have not been receiving those notifications. Okay, so with that all being said, let's get into it. But before we do, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. And you can also find it at Walmart.com. And as well, she sells beard oil. Okay, so with that all being said, let's get ready to get into it. Let's get ready to get into it. So we have some updates on David Apparently, his friends have come out and said some things about him. So let's talk about it. Private Eye shines light on David's impounded Tesla in the Celeste Rivas case. So, a private eye is revealing more details in the case of missing California teen Celeste Rivas, whose dismembered body was found in a car owned by singer David. Hold on. Hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. I didn't even bother to see who's in here. Hey, TC Dan, Nessa G. All right. Claudette, 504, Nola Perplex, That Crazy Beach Aries, Anita Harrell. All right. Lillian X, Imuna is here. Cecil. All right. Trisha is here. All right. Let's get into it. Everybody hit that like button. Sorry, beloveds. Y'all know I love me some loyal royals. Okay, so shout out to all my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen. And a big shout out to my moderators putting in work. I see Adonia and G from the land. Okay, so with that all being said, let's get into it. Now, TMZ promised that they would give us some juicy information today about the case of David. So I guess this is supposed to be it. So let's talk about what this PI has found as he tracks down the tow report about David's vehicle. Okay, so a private eye is revealing more details in the case of missing California teen Celeste Rivas, whose dismembered body was found in a car owned by singer David earlier this month. We're getting a good look at the Tesla as police first encountered it. License plate investigator Steve Fisher just posted some of his legwork in the case. Now, he tracked down photos of the car before it was impounded and the CHP incident report responding to the abandoned car. Okay, so wonder what he found. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to share my screen so you all can see his report. Okay, now here's what he writes. He says, I obtained photos of hashtag David's 2023 Tesla Model X when it was towed and impounded. I also received a copy of the August 26, 2025 complaint reporting it as abandoned, along with the vehicle impound report. Now, the caller only noted a large dent in the rear, no mention of odor. The tow report states nothing of value was seen inside. The photo suggests the car had been left in the same spot for an extended period. The initial complaint was called in on August the 26th. Then an officer first inspected and cited the car on August the 27th, then ticketed again on September the 3rd, and then towed and impounded on September the 5th. The report also notes that there were no wants on the vehicle, meaning it was not reported stolen at the time. I've redacted certain details, including the license plate from the photos. Now, what's interesting about this, he says it was not reported stolen at the time. So I'm wondering when, if ever, was it reported stolen? Because, David said that he actually had reported this vehicle stolen. Okay, that's what David told somebody. I remember seeing the receipts. Okay, so anyway, here's the information about the vehicle. And this is very interesting. And of course, that's where it was found, and he covered the license plate, as he said. Okay, so certainly this is no smoking gun. And here is the vehicle report. Okay, given the information that I just read to you. Okay, so let's see what else is going on with this whole scenario. Okay, he says, they say, you'll recall the car was reported as abandoned on a Hollywood Hills street earlier this month, near the house the singer had been renting. Now, Fisher, who specializes in missing person cases, says he got a copy of the LA Department of Transportation report of the complaint and the impound report itself. He says the person who reported the car noted a big dent in the rear end of the vehicle, which you can see in one of the photos. Take a closer look, and it's unclear who snapped the pics, and the car is covered in dust, suggesting that it had actually been sitting there for a while. Now, there's no mention of an odor emanating from the car, As we know, a strong smell later prompted a search of the vehicle in the Hollywood tow yard where it ended up, where where Celeste's dismembered and decomposed body was found in the front trunk of the Tesla. So the original complaint filed on the afternoon of August 26th notes an officer checked out the car the next day and wrote a ticket. Another ticket was issued on September the 3rd, and it was finally towed September the 5th, and Celeste's body was found on the 8th. The incident report shows there were no flags on the vehicle. It hadn't been reported stolen. Now, here's what's interesting. Now, they say David was out of town when the body was discovered, and he's since canceled his world tour in the wake of the related investigation. He's been loosely connected to the 14-year-old Celeste in a few different ways. Police have searched his house that he was renting, including scouring the place for traces of blood evidence, and movers have been seen taking boxes out of the place. They say they reached out to Steve Fisher. So far, no word back. Okay, I find that all very interesting. Because as I told you, David said that he reported the vehicle missing, which clearly he did not. So now that gives further cause for suspicion. Okay, as far as I'm concerned. Now, with that all being said, David's friends believe Celeste, or they claim, and I don't believe this because this young lady looks so very young, but his friends are alleging that they thought she was 19 years old. Yeah, I don't believe them at all. I just don't believe it. She had a baby face. She clearly did not look like she was 19, in my opinion. Okay, so with that all being said, let's go to this News Nation report. Okay, here we go. I'm going to share the screen. I'm just amazed that, I'm amazed that the police have not arrested him yet. That's just very strange to me.
I like it.
Here, every member of your team works together to manage all your healthcare needs.
Well, out with the old way of aging and in with the new.
We specialize in caring for older adults like you. So call Oak Street Health today.
Tonight, we can finally dispose of all of the speculation around the singer known as David and the underage girl found decomposing in the trunk of his Tesla. Up until tonight, there'd really been no definitive proof that David Anthony Burke was actually in a romantic relationship with Celeste Rivas Hernandez. But now there is. TMZ spoke with multiple friends of David who were, quote, under the impression that he and Celeste were indeed a couple, a romantic couple. David's friends believe that Celeste was 19 years old and a college student. Earlier today, I spoke with TMZ senior producer Charlie Neff, who is behind that breakthrough reporting. So, Charlie, you talked with friends of David. How did they know him, and how well did they know him?
Yeah, so the folks that I spoke to are in the LA music scene, so they know David very, very well. They didn't know Celeste as well as they knew David, but they did notice that he was bringing her along when they would go to parties in the music scene. Maybe they would have hangouts after a recording session, and they knew David to be a very gentle person, is what they told me. They also described him as very soft-spoken. Friends around him are extremely shocked that he's even remotely connected to this grisly murder of a 14-year-old girl. Obviously, he has not been named a person of interest. And from what we've seen, there is no legitimate connection connecting him to the death of this young girl. However, her remains were found in his car. And just that connection alone has really shocked a lot of people around him.
Now, looking at Celeste, she absolutely does not look like a 19-year-old college student. And had anyone spoken to her, his friends, that is, I don't see how they would have thought she was a college student. She spoke in a very immature way because she was immature. She was only 14. Okay. Now, if you remember the Discord comments, the post that I read, she sounded very young. Okay, you could tell that she was young by some of the things that she wrote in there. So they could miss me with it, saying they thought she was 19. In my opinion, they're just trying to distance themselves from the fact that they covered up that he was dealing with someone who was underage. That's just my opinion.
Did they get the impression that this was a romantic couple?
Yes, absolutely. So the people that I spoke to that were seeing them together out in the scene believed they were romantically involved. Now, look, they did not say anything about PDA, said that David was a very shy, quiet person, and Celeste seemed to mirror that as well. So they weren't out there making out at parties and things like that, but they did believe because they would see them together so frequently that these two were in a relationship.
Where did they get the idea that she was somehow a 19-year-old going to USC as a
I
college
know. Isn't that just so crazy? Because, we think, how does a 14-year-old child, present as a 19-year-old woman? And I was told that these people were just so sure that she was a college student. They were specific. They said that she attended USC from what they believed. And also, she was seen at events where there's age restrictions, clubs and parties and stuff like this, where she had to be at least of 18 years old to get in. And we do know from law enforcement sources that she did have several fake IDs as well. So she was able to get into places where there was age restrictions. But
Charlie, it's so sad to hear that you and I are talking about a 14-year-old girl, but I keep going back to the fact that it's possible he connected with her as early as 12, and on the far end, maybe even 11. Did these friends have a long relationship with David? Like, for instance, did they know Celeste when she was maybe 13 or, God forbid, even 12?
Yeah, so the people that I spoke with just recently got to know him. He has been popular for quite some time. We know that he had been signed to a record label when he was underage. However, he has kind of blown up in the music scene the past couple years. So it would have been the past couple years that they did know her. But yeah, she would have been, about 12 years old during the time that she was coming around. And, we don't know a whole lot about who her friends were, if she did have friends. We just know that she was coming around more in his circle. And we know she wasn't really home very often because she wasn't attending school.
Well, God, if you think about it, her friends would have been elementary school friends, because it's only a couple years ago that she would have been in elementary school. And if she disappeared at 13, she would have been just into middle school. And just the whole idea that we're talking about it is so uncomfortable. But I am so curious about her story and how she presents. And as you mentioned, these friends of David said she presented very much like a 19-year-old. Did they see her driving? Did they see her driving, say, his car? Because if she's telling everyone she's a USC student, she's got to be going out of the house or leaving his presence on a regular basis.
Yeah, these people did not see her driving or ever see her driving his car or anything of the matter. But, she was always with him. So, everything he did in his life, she kind of seemed to follow.
Do we know, Charlie, if these friends had any inkling that Celeste had actually moved into that mansion, that she was full on a resident of that home in the Hollywood Hills with David?
So the people that we spoke with a lot of neighbors in the area, and they don't recall seeing Celeste, or at least don't remember seeing her face. I know there are reports out there saying that she had been living with David and was at least staying there in the past couple weeks, leading up to when she was discovered.
Did these friends of David ever mention that Celeste talked about her family or her home life, or let on anything about her personal life?
Yeah, so the people that I spoke with didn't know much about her. It doesn't seem like this really came up, at least in like a social gathering or a social scene. No one really questioned much about her background. Like I mentioned, they just knew her as this college student that went to USC. It doesn't look like they really unpacked that. You kind of just take somebody at their word when they say things like that.
Did you get the impression that they thought David might actually be involved in this extraordinarily mysterious and tragic death?
So when I spoke to people around him, they were shocked that he was even remotely in, just the same sentence of this grisly, gruesome murder. Just the fact that it was his car that her remains were found in, they were shocked because, they said he appeared to be a very gentle guy, very shy guy, quiet. I also was told that his family is very conservative. They were very much involved in his life. Remember, he's just a 20-year-old, and his family was very much a part of his career from the beginning. And so for him to even be connected in any kind of way, again, he is not a person of interest, but for it just to be his car, they thought was just extremely disturbing and confusing. And just how could anybody do this, especially somebody that they would see at social scenes and things like that? They just can't believe it. It's extremely shocking for them.
Do you know if these friends that you talked to have also been interviewed by the police?
So I did speak with somebody who said that they have not personally been interviewed by police, but they believe that it's absolutely possible that other people in that group could have been interviewed by police. I'm sure police are trying to make sure that there's no stone unturned, and they are combing through everything to try to piece together this just horrific case.
If I were a betting man, Charlie, I'd say he would be going to his support system, which, as you just mentioned, he's got a supportive family. I think they're in Houston. Does anybody know if that's a possibility? Any sightings, any hint, anything about Houston?
There hasn't been any sightings. And like you mentioned, he is from Texas originally. And we do know that he has a couple homes out there as well, which it does not appear that there have been any search warrants for either one of those homes. There haven't been any sightings. So it appears he's in hiding. I'd imagine, like I mentioned, he is not a person of interest. Maybe, if he has no connection to this grisly murder whatsoever, he obviously knew who this young girl was. I imagine that would be extremely hard and painful to hear what unfolded to somebody But, and it's unclear if he's spoken to police, but hopefully they get to the bottom of it soon.
Boy, I sure hope police know where he is. If you and I don't, I sure hope they have a handle on where he is, because my feeling is now that he's lawyered up, they still have some questions for him. Charlie Knapp, amazing work. Great journalism and a really good interview. Thanks so much. I appreciate that.
Okay, so you all hear that. Listen, I find it very interesting that they have not named him as at least a person of interest. Okay, now they raided the residence that he was renting, that he's now fled from. She was found in his car. Friends have said that yes, they were together. I don't know what more they need. A smoking gun, perhaps? Very interesting. Okay, retired federal bank says, Happy Friday, Loyal Royals. Thank you, beloved, and happy Friday to you too. And thank you for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Now let's go to this next report. I just saw something else pop up too. It's some guy. Let me see what it is real quick. It looks like it says David's Tesla could ID the driver. Yeah, well, we know that because it has all those cameras. At least I think about 8 cameras, if I'm not mistaken. But definitely a camera that can show who was the driver of the vehicle. And I cannot wait to find out who that was.
Cautiously as they investigate the death of a missing California teenager whose body was found in a car belonging to popular singer-songwriter David. How 15-year-old Celeste Rivas died and whether a crime was committed remain crucial questions that sources tell ABC News could take weeks, even months, to answer.
It's an ongoing investigation. We have a lot of resources dedicated to bringing it to a conclusion.
Rivas had been missing for a year and a half. The LA County medical examiner unable to determine a cause of death so far, now waiting on lab tests to come back. Her badly decomposed remains wrapped in plastic discovered inside the trunk of this black Tesla that had been abandoned in the Hollywood Hills. The registered owner, David Anthony Burke, who goes by the stage name David. Rivas had a tattoo reading "shh" on her index finger. David has the same one. It's a popular design among performers. Investigators were seen searching the residence he was renting last week and allegedly removing a computer. The 20-year-old musician has not been named as a suspect.
In order for there to be a prosecution, law enforcement has to find some key pieces of information when it comes to a potential homicide. First, they actually need to figure out if it's a homicide or not, and the autopsy report will help give them that. Then they have to figure out the who and the how in order to bring charges.
And while a source close to the investigation says all promotion for David's new album has been put on pause, Billboard reporting streaming of his music has doubled since news of his possible connection to Rivas's death emerged. Some fans now pointing out disturbing images seen in his music videos, like One More Dance, which shows a bloody David and a body being placed in a trunk.
After watching you go.
Recently, mourners gathered at a vigil for the California teen, authorities returning her body to her family this week.
Now, sources telling us they have the evidence that they need from her body. And while they wait on those lab results, again, the promotion for David's new album has stopped and the U.S. portion of his tour has been canceled. Guys.
Kana, thank you.
Patricia.
Okay, so you all heard that. Like, this is all crazy. And the gruesome things that he showed in his videos, and also, you know, not just the music video, that anime video with him slashing somebody and the arms falling off like they're being dismembered and all of that stuff. That is just real strange to me, okay? Very strange at the end of the day. And I can't help but think that he absolutely had something nefarious to do with it. Okay, but that's just my opinion. Now, with that all being said, oh my goodness, I just clicked off of it. Hold on. There was another video. Hold on, beloveds. Oh my God, I hate when I do this. There was another video I wanted to show you all. Let me see if I can find it. I had it right there. I was supposed to pull it up after that video ended. Hold on. Give me just a second. Jordan, I don't know how I did that. Hold on just a sec. Let me see if I can find this. Let me see here. Okay, I'll go back and try to find that in a second. I hate that I did that because, let me see. It was connected to this other video. Hold on. Let me pull this one back up. Okay, I think this is it. Let me see here. Okay, here it is. Yeah. Now, this is from like 12 hours ago. Okay, so let's check this one out. This is also a report from News Nation.
Star witness in the death of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Till now, it's been a total mystery. Who wrapped her up in plastic and closed her into the trunk of a Tesla until she decomposed beyond recognition? Well, there's a very good chance that the Tesla knows. If you were with us here last night, we listed off all the ways that Teslas record everything that happens around them. And if you missed it, you can check that out on my podcast, Drop Dead Serious. But the 2023 Model Y Tesla is a virtual rolling studio and hard drive all in one. 8 cameras on the outside, 1 camera on the inside. It can tell you who closed that trunk and when that closed trunk happened. It can tell you how many doors opened and closed after that trunk opened and closed for the last time. And it can tell you where the car drove from before it was abandoned. Best case scenario, the car identifies the driver. But if the driver isn't the killer, how can police squeeze that driver for more information? Nobody knows what gets a guy to talk quite like my next guest. John Bueller is a former detective in the Modesto, California PD, and he worked one of the most infamous dismemberment cases of our time, the Laci Peterson murder. John, welcome back. I was dying to talk to you about this. What exactly could you hang over the driver of that Tesla to say, you want to go to prison facing X, Y, and Z? If not, talk.
Well, there's a whole bunch of tools that you have when you're interviewing people. And one of the big things is you have to figure out if they've got a lot to lose. And the more somebody has to lose, the more you can work on alternate plans for their future. So if with this case, it sounds to me like it's kind of a sloppy murder. You just leave a body in a dismembered body in a trunk. Not a lot of pre-planning with that. It possibly was, but it's pretty sloppy on the tail end. So if you can get the guy identified that was last driving the car, and especially if you saw him putting the bag in the trunk, the dismembered remains and everything like that, you pull him in and you talk to him about whether or not he did it or not, or if he's an accessory after the fact, accomplice before the fact. If he was involved in the murder and the killing itself, he's looking at 25 to life just like the killer. But if he was actually just disposing of the evidence, essentially the body, then you're going to have to play with him a little bit and see if he's willing to talk. Now, for me, at least when it comes to a murder like this, I want the guy who killed the girl. That's who I'm most interested in. And I would be willing to trade somebody who was involved in the cleanup if I could get him to make the case stronger against the actual killer.
So if you threaten him with accomplice to murder, even if you don't think he is, I know that police tactics, you can say anything to get somebody to be a little bit worried about his or her position. But accomplice to murder is 25 to life. Accessory to murder is 15 to life. And unlawful disposal of human remains is only 1 year. So 1 year doesn't sound quite as scary. What else can you tag on to all of these to scare somebody?
Well, besides the 1 year for unlawful disposal of human remains, you could talk to them about disposing of evidence, tampering with evidence, and that could be a 3-year felony depending on how much he did. It might go all the way down to 6 months depending on what he was involved in. But when it comes to these things, we never threatened people, or at least I didn't, because you have to answer for that when you go to court. So I tried to make sure that my interviews were at least palatable to the jury. No false promises, no hitting him in the head with a phone book or anything like that, but trying to present him with a couple of options. And the best option is save yourself, give us what we need to make our case stronger, and then maybe we can work a deal where you become a witness instead of a co-responsible. We did that on several cases, and you ended up letting a guy go sometimes for a crime that he was involved in, but for the greater good, to get a solid sentence and a good conviction on the guy that killed him, sometimes that's the way to go.
Well, I own this same Tesla, and I literally understand how much of my privacy I've given up having this Tesla and having the luxury of having Sentry mode, protect, my car for me, and basically scare people off if they even walk near it. All those things come with a price. And if they're able to get the guy or girl who closed that trunk for the last time on Celeste and then got into the driver's side, and if the other passenger side door also opened, that's registered, and they're able to find a couple of people, I mean, you really do have something on them. I mean, they're recorded potentially on camera doing this. Is there an obstruction of justice here as well?
Well, only if they would keep information from you that they had. You could try and get a charge like that. But charges like that are kind of lightweight, and it depends on the prosecutor. And it also depends on the person's prior criminal history. If they've been in trouble a lot and they've been arrested a lot, well, then maybe you could work on that, especially if they're on parole. The parole officers and parole agents have a lot of latitude and a lot of muscle to use over somebody who's out in public on parole. So we have that. But generally in a case like this, the car is going to be a huge piece of evidence. And even though they say that David is not a person of interest, he might be. They're just keeping it close to the vest.
Well, I wouldn't serve 15 years to protect somebody if he asked me to clean up a crime. That's just me, though. John Bueller, it's good to have you. Thanks for this.
Always good to see you. Thanks so much.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation.
Okay, so this, is getting very interesting at the end of the day. We're just going to have to wait and see who closed that darn front. okay, which is the front trunk. We're going to have to see who that was and then who got in the driver's seat. Now, some people are saying that, maybe someone did something to her after David left to go on tour. That could be, it could be plausible, but the bottom line is just looking at the demonic and the bloody and gruesome imagery that David has used in videos and the things that he wrote about in his songs, talking about he was obsessed with her, and all of this, even naming a song after her, releasing 2 songs on her birthday. Yeah, it all makes me think that he absolutely was obsessed with her and that he did something to her. Okay, and the fact that he likes to wear clothes drenched in blood, it's all crazy to me. This is not normal behavior. Okay, this is not normal behavior. And the fact that he's fled. Okay, because if I were him, I'd be somewhere trying to clear my name. Okay, that's what I think. I'd be somewhere likely trying to clear my name. Okay, so to be continued. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about this woman who tried to drown her 3 children while she was on live. It was very crazy, okay? A Villarico mother is facing, or Valrico, I'm sorry, a Valrico mother is facing attempted murder charges after witnesses say she tried to drown her 3 children at a community pool. Hillsborough County Sheriff's deputies responded to a call at 1:28 a.m. Thursday at a community pool on Sacramento Street. The deputies found Shanice Willingham, age 24, on the pool deck. Family members had already intervened, pulling the children ages 8 months, 2 years, and 3 years from the water and taking them to a nearby home. The sheriff's office said Willingham left her parents' home with the children following an argument. Shortly after, she began posting videos to Instagram saying she was going to do harm to herself and to her children. Now, alerted by the videos, family rushed to the pool to see Willingham throw the children into the water before jumping in herself and holding the children under the water. They immediately intervened. Deputies say they said they removed everyone from the pool. Now, the children were not injured, thank God, because she was literally trying to take them up out of here. I'm going to play for you the video in a second. Now, Willingham was taken into custody under a Baker Act, according to jail records. She's facing 3 counts of attempted first-degree murder. Now, the Baker Act permits the involuntary examination of someone for up to 72 hours if there is reason to believe that they have a mental illness and are a danger to themselves or others, or unable to care for themselves. So this decision was not a cry for help. It was a deliberate act of cruelty. That's what Sheriff Chad Chronister says. Okay. Now, mental health challenges may provide an explanation, he says, but there is no excuse, no justification. These children were failed by their own mother, and it is only by the quick actions of their family that they are alive today. The investigation is ongoing. Okay, and by the way, if you know anybody that's struggling, with depression, having suicidal thoughts or anything like that, there's an suicide and crisis lifeline, okay, call 988 or dial 211 to connect with the local support services. And I really think that's something that we should talk about, and we'll probably talk about that tomorrow, okay, because there's a lot of people suffering from depression, and mental health issues are something that we commonly don't talk about in this community. But I really want to talk about it because there's a lot of people who look like me. I'm not going to say a lot, but there's people who look like me taking themselves out every day. Okay. And it's very sad that people take permanent solutions to temporary problems, because no matter what you're going through, if it's something really bad or something that's detrimental or whatever, it's going to be over at some point. Okay, trouble don't last always, like they tell you in church. So with that all being said, I think we need to talk about that, and we will tomorrow. Okay, because this is a crisis that is affecting our community, in my opinion. Now, with that all being said, let's go to this news report.
Things imaginable. Last night, 24-year-old Shanice Willingham broadcast to the world that she'd had it with family life and would be ending it for herself and for her children. And she almost did, but thankfully witnesses stepped in to save them all. Fox 13's Evan Axel makes it live at the Hillsborough County Courthouse to explain how this all went down. Evan.
Well, she had an argument with her family over childcare and said that she couldn't take it anymore. Well, she made sure that everyone knew what she was about to do, and that ultimately may have saved their lives.
Even when I was
Shanice Willingham had her mind made up.
It's never a break. I never had a support system, so who the hell am I going to leave them with?
This is an Instagram live stream that Hillsborough deputies are using as part of their investigation. It shows Shanice walking with her kids to a community pool just after 1 Thursday morning. On it, she says she loves her kids.
I'm right here at the pool. It's so beautiful at the pool, y'all. It's so beautiful.
Just after that, court documents say she used a rope to tie herself to the children, who are aged 3, 2, and 8 months, and jumped into the deep end of the pool on Sacramento Street in Valrico. Family members who arrived by car jumped the fences and pulled the 4 people out, saving all of them. She was arrested by deputies and appeared on Thursday afternoon at a child custody hearing from her jail cell. Their father, Theo Williams, tried to get custody, saying he was not involved in what happened. But attorneys for the children argued he had known about her mental health issues and never tried to stop them from being around her.
They just said that I had knowledge of her mental health. Yeah. So you're asking? I told them that I didn't know. Okay. I didn't know that.
At a second hearing today, a judge agreed to hold her in custody until a formal hearing is held on whether she can be safely let out.
She'll be held at no bond until we can have that hearing.
She has previous mugshots for other family-related incidents. But in this case, HCSO detectives say she had an argument with family members over childcare.
There was a reach out for help of the live stream, and we can be so grateful for the people that took that seriously and listened, and then were able to jump in when support and help was needed of literally life-saving measures.
The Crisis Center of Tampa Bay does want to take this opportunity to remind anybody in a crisis that there are multiple local hotlines that can be called for anyone in need of desperate help. There is a pretrial detention hearing scheduled for Monday morning at 9 a.m. to determine if she's going to remain behind bars as this court process begins to ramp up. She's going to have to face charges of attempted first-degree murder. They could land her. They could see her spend the rest of her life behind bars if she's found guilty. Mark?
Yeah, certainly sounds like it. So sad all the way around. I'm glad the kids are okay. Evan, thank you.
Thank goodness her family knew exactly where to go. Okay? Thank goodness they knew exactly where to go. Now, here is the full video that she posted.
It's my last goodbye, y'all. I can't take it no more. My baby daddy don't give a fuck. My mama don't give a fuck. I've been struggling so long with mental health. So if y'all understand a young mother, right? If she's been reaching out for months and months, please, 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 please hear her out. Hear her. Just hear her. Because I'm about to do this, guys. Whew. I'm about to do this, y'all. And I love my kids. I love my kids so much. So much. But I can't leave them behind because how? I can't leave them behind because who the fuck gonna take care of them? I don't want them. I know they'll be safe with God. And I know I'm gonna go to hell. Oh, God, I'm gonna go to hell. And God, I just know. I know you're disappointed. I know, but I've been trying. I told you to show up for me. I tried every way, God. But I know my kid's gonna be safe with him. Oh, Lord. I told you, God, I was getting tired. And Theo, you really hurt me with this because you could never see how much of pain I am. You never saw how much of pain I was in, Theo. And it hurt me so bad. It hurt me so bad. And y'all, don't get it twisted. I'm not doing this about no niggas. I'm doing this because I am a tired single mother that got too much on her shoulders. I don't know how to figure out this life when no one helps me. So don't even blame Theo either because he did his part when it was there, but he was not no good father when times was bad. To my mama, Ma, you knew I was at my lowest. You knew, Ma. You knew I was at my lowest, Ma. You knew. You just kicked me right down. You literally just saved me from suicide. You saved me from suicide. And now you the reason. Another reason, like you just added icing on the cake. My kids, I love them so much. I love my kids so much. And I wish I wasn't so selfish. That's selfish of me, right? Is it selfish of me? But then it's like, y'all won't ever understand because I never had a break. Even when I was in a hospital having my baby. It's never a break. I never had a support system, so who the hell am I going to leave them with? I love my kids. Ooh, if I don't do it, believe it's because I look my kids in their eyes. I'm right here at the pool. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful at the pool, y'all. It's so beautiful. Oh, Lord, it's so beautiful. Oh, Lord. Oh, y'all, babies, I love y'all, okay? Dada, can you tell mommy you love me? I love you. I love you. Yeah, mommy love you. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss, okay? Mwah. Two. Mommy love you, okay? Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss.
Tell you all something. Let me tell you all something. I see some of the people in the comments feeling bad for her, and some people blaming the family, saying the family's no good. Well, here's the thing. I think she's no good. That's what I think. I think she is no good. Okay, first of all, she knew what she was doing. You don't think she knew what she was doing when she got on video? Yeah, she did. And she may have been going through things. We all do. But to say you're going to take your children out and take yourself out, well, if she wanted to take herself out, that's one thing. But taking those children out, talking about, you can't leave them here. Why would you kill your children? She could have taken them to a fire station and dropped them off. She could have tried to get them adopted. There's many things she could have done. And I'm not going to speak bad about her family because we don't know what conversations they had. But what I do know is that her family are the reason the kids are still alive. She isn't. Her family, upon seeing that video, ran and saved those children and her. Okay, so I don't know why anyone would say the family's no good. They saved the lives of those children. Okay. Now she got into an argument, got upset, Okay, I get it. And she may be going through some mental health issues. I get that too. But at the end of the day, I absolutely believe that she knew what she was doing. Okay. And sitting there, trying to act like all the problems she's going through is an excuse to kill kids. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay. Peaceful Living says she was in deep mental crisis. Well, she may have been, but we don't know that for a fact. We're not psychologists. We didn't diagnose her. We've not spoken to her. Okay. At the end of the day, even if she was, she still knew what she was doing. That's just point blank, period. She knew what she was doing. And if it weren't for the family, she would have taken those kids out. Okay. So my empathy and sympathy is for the children. All right. She can rot in jail as far as I'm concerned. That's what she can do. She can rot in jail because that was selfish. If you don't want to be here anymore, that's one thing, but don't take anybody else with you. Okay, that really annoys me with people who come to those conclusions that they don't want to be here. So let me just take out everybody else that's close to me because I can't leave them behind. Okay, that's crazy work. That's crazy work. All right. She's an evil woman as far as I'm concerned. Period. Now, I feel sorry for anybody that's going through mental health struggles, but when you know exactly what you're doing and you choose to do evil, then that's what you are. Okay? That's what you are. Why didn't she call the father of those children? Why didn't she give them to the father? She said he wasn't a good father sometimes. I'm quite sure that leaving them with him would have been better than taking their lives. Okay? Leaving them with somebody, anybody. There's people that care about them clearly. The family came and saved them because they cared about them. Yes, she has demons. She absolutely does. You see, anytime someone's talking about self-deletion, that's nothing but demonic work. Those are demons influencing people. Demons cause oppression. Okay, and I want you all to pay attention because those of you on the spiritual channel, I've told you that before. Okay, whenever you hear voices in your head telling you it's never going to get better, you should take yourself up out of here, and this, that, and the third, and all of this stuff, that's demons. Okay, that is demons. That's all that is. And nobody's going to convince me of anything other than that. All right. The devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But I absolutely believe that she knew what she was doing when she talked about taking those kids up out of there. Okay. At the end of the day, she could have called the father and said, listen, I'm about to take myself out of here. You need to come get your kids. She could have done plenty of things, okay? I do feel sorry for her to a degree, but I'm also angry at her that she was going to take those kids' lives. All right? I'm glad the family saved them, that they stepped in. So anyway, with that all being said, she'll be diagnosed. They're going to do exams on her and all of that to see if she's competent or whatever. One of the kids was like 8 months old. So maybe she was suffering from postpartum depression. I don't know, but we'll find out. And until then, I'm still mad. Okay? So now with that all being said, that crazy bitch Eric said, I feel for our people. Yeah, I do too. I do too. Okay, so with that all being said, let's talk about this Black woman who went over to Africa on vacation and was kidnapped. Thank God she escaped. And I think this has a whole lot to do with human trafficking. Okay. So, people, please be careful when you're going out of town to different countries or going out of the country. I mean, not out of town, but when you're traveling to different countries. And also be aware that there's trafficking that goes on in these different countries. And usually the hotels are involved. Okay, I've told you all about that before. Some of these hotels have secret passages and all sorts of things. Okay, they have like rooms under the floor and all kinds of things. Okay, I think I've showed you all videos of this. So you have to be careful. Okay, Lady Space said if it was true mental illness, she wouldn't have made the video. That's what I was wondering about. That's what I was wondering about too. Now, she was arguing with her family about childcare. What was the argument? That's what I'd like to know. Were they saying they weren't going to be able to keep the kids anymore or what? I don't know. At the end of the day, like I said, she could have given them to somebody else rather than trying to take them up out of here. So let's get into this video about this woman who was kidnapped in Africa, okay, and luckily escaped with her life. They beat the crap out of her before she left, though. And then the hotel tried to gaslight her, wouldn't even call the police. Let me tell you all something. Whenever you travel to a different country and then something happens to you, some sort of crime or whatever, specifically something like this, make sure you call the UN, okay? I mean, the U.S. Embassy. Make sure you call them, okay? At the end of the day, because this woman said the police, they would not even call the police for her, the hotel. They wouldn't do anything to help her, basically. And that's how we should know that they were in on it. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Y'all look at my face. I cannot believe this shit. Like, they really tried to kidnap me in Africa. And if that shit happened to me, I know it happens to other people. And I just was blessed enough to get the fuck away. But all right, so when I came out here Friday. Friday night was cool. Saturday night we went out. I'm not a party person, so like an hour into the club, I'm like, I always do this, nothing new. I'm like, all right, I'm going to the hotel. It's hella taxis outside. It's a lot of people out there. So the taxi brings me back to the hotel. I come upstairs. I go to the front desk because I needed a key. My key, I don't know what my key was, but I went to the front desk to get a key. So they gave me a key. I come upstairs. Then I'm like, dang it, ain't no tissue. I go back downstairs. I go to the front desk. God, that is the last thing I remember, being at the front desk. The next thing I remember is waking up in the back of a fucking car. I start freaking the fuck out. Like, I'm trying to get out. And once I get out, this guy, that shit is blurry. I thought the front desk, all that shit is blurry. I don't know what woke me up. I don't know what they gave me, what they did to me. I don't know. The last thing I remember is being at the lobby. So, the guy, he get out the car. We're tussling. We fucking fighting. Like, I'm fucking fighting for my life. Like, I'm really like, all I kept thinking about was my fucking kids. Like, man, I gotta get back home to my kids. I'm really fighting for my life. Like, this nigga's punching me. Y'all can see, like, he's trying to telling me, shut up. I was not, like, giving up wasn't an option. Like, I really was fucking fighting for my life. So I managed to get away by the grace of God. I don't even know how I really got away. It's all woods. I just started running. I did not look back. I'm running fast as shit to where I could see cars and lights. I'm running fast as shit, but this shit is blurry. I don't know what they gave me or did to me. So once I get, I finally was able to wave somebody down and get some help. A taxi brought me back to the hotel, right? So, okay, y'all, I'm in the airport. So I'm going to keep talking about it, though, before I forget. So the taxi brings me back to the hotel. So I'm running in. I tell Queen, y'all, I'm with Queen, so just keep up with me. I tell Queen, I'm like, They fucking took me. She telling me I'm yelling out shit like I was fighting for my life. Woody woody woody. She like you just was so you was in distraught, like you was in shock. You was crying and all that stuff. So she got on to she asked in the hotel, y'all. The hotel would not show us no videos. They was not helping us. They did not call the police for me. They did not give a fuck. That's how I know the hotel has something to do with it. Because it just doesn't make sense. So what they're saying, right? They're trying to say that I never came back to the hotel. Like once I like out their words of their mouth, they said I got snatched from the club. For one, how the fuck you know I was at the club? Two, if I got snatched at the club, where in the club I have this purse, I'm recording with this phone in the club. Like we're having a ball. I got this purse on and I'm recording this phone. How the fuck did my stuff get back in the room if I never came back? He keep trying to say, oh, y'all, it's just so much. It's just so much. But when I say I was fighting for my fucking life, like they did not expect for me to make it back to that hotel. I was never supposed to come back to the hotel, yo. I was never supposed to come back. Then, you know what I'm saying, once I'm back, everybody, they looking so crazy. Everybody looking so crazy. Queen go back downstairs, nobody wants to talk to her. Nobody, we don't want to talk to you. Now nobody know no English. And for y'all to keep telling me that I never came there after the club, yes, the fuck I did. Yes, I know I did. But if I didn't come back after the club, right? Or if I, you know what I'm saying? If I didn't come back after the club, how the fuck is my stuff in? And say if I didn't, you know what I'm saying? What they saying, if I didn't, if I got taken from the club, or if I willingly walked out of the hotel, you're gonna show me. You were so pressed to show me running in while it was light time, distraught. That's the only video they showed. But when I'm running in, I have no purse, I have no phone. You know why? Because my shit was upstairs, because I was upstairs. Man, this shit is so stressful. I don't even know what to do, how to go about this, who to say nothing to. I don't know. I don't know. I did not come here like this. All of this right here is all over my body. Okay, y'all, and then it's just a lot of weird shit going on. Like, the manager decided, remind me this happened Saturday night, Sunday morning. Once I got back to the hotel from escaping, I stayed in my room. I didn't want to go nowhere. I had booked a flight. You know, the next available flight was in the day. You think they came and checked on me? You think he asked? You know why the police showed up? Do y'all know why the police showed up? The police showed up because the hotel said Queen was being disruptive and, like, you know what I'm saying? Down there being too loud and shit, yelling at them, disrespecting them and shit. They never knew nothing I was talking about pertaining to me or nothing she was telling to me. I had to call the fucking embassy, the U.S. embassy. They came and they brought their own police officers. And then even the guys that was police that night kept telling Queen, oh, come with him. Go with him to make a report. Go with him to make a report. We showed the real police that the embassy brought, and he said that's not one of our guys. What the fuck? Like, I cannot make this shit up. And then the manager, I got a picture of him, y'all. He telling me, oh, it was just, Monday, we going downstairs to talking shit. So he can show us the cameras. He tell me, can you just stay in the room? And she go, we like, no, we not, like, nobody going nowhere by themselves. Y'all janky. He asked me, he like, you got some sunglasses, or like, can you cover up? Fuck no. I want everybody to see what the fuck you know what I'm saying? Like, it happened here, from here. I know for a fact I was in here. Y'all keep trying to tell me I wasn't here. But how did my purse that I had at the club, which I'm on camera in the club with my phone in my purse. So then when I get back to the hotel, I don't have no phone in no purse. That's what they show me. I don't have no phone, no purse. I don't even have shoes on. But my shit is upstairs. Then he like, oh, this was an accident. What the fuck do you mean it was an accident? This is the craziest shit I've ever been in my life. I travel a lot. It's not my first time out the country. It's not my second time out the country. I travel a lot. And the hotel won't show all the videos. If y'all innocent, just show the videos. You were so supposed to show me, oh, this is when she came back in. That's what they try to do. Oh, this is when she came back in. After I got into all that, you know what I'm saying? No, the fuck. That's not when I came back in. Y'all didn't expect me to come back in. That shit crazy.
Okay, so that had to be a very scary ordeal as far as I'm concerned. Okay. And it sounds to me like it was a lot to do with trafficking. Sounds like it was a lot to do with trafficking, in my opinion, at the end of the day, because the hotel definitely sounded like they were in on it. Okay. They wouldn't call the police, they wouldn't do anything. And then they had some guy that wasn't even the real police. This is all crazy. Leonard says, why would you go to Africa by yourself with no male escorts when they don't respect women like that? Here's the thing. Why would you go anywhere out of the country, by yourself, period? Why would you go to any country that you're not a resident of by yourself? That's crazy, unless you have family or somebody there. Okay, that's just crazy to me. Do you remember that woman that went over to Haiti? That black woman who went over to Haiti trying to take some sort of voodoo lessons or whatever and ended up dead? Do you all remember that? Let's not forget about the black folk that went over to Mexico and ended up dead. Okay, this is crazy. People are still going to these places by themselves. Okay. Mel said she was asking for trouble. Honey, at the end of the day, there's no way I would have gone anywhere out of the country by myself. You go in groups, okay? Or at least you go with at least one other person. But me specifically, we're going in a whole group, okay? There's going to be at least 5 of us or more, all right? And everybody's keeping eyes on everybody. That's how that's going, all right? This is all crazy. I'm glad she had made it out of there with her life. And then she said she woke up, she was in the woods. Some strange man doesn't know how she got there. Can you imagine? Then having to fight for your life to get free and then run. Like, this is all crazy. I'm just glad she made it out safe. Okay. Now, with that all being said, I have some very bad news. And this is breaking news. Okay. You all know one of my favorite revolutionaries, my auntie Assata Shakur, has passed away. So let's talk about it. This is breaking news. Assata Shakur, wanted Black Liberation Army member, dies at 78 in Cuba. Now, you all do remember that Barack Obama, and yes, I said Obama, put her on the most wanted terrorist list. You all remember that? That's what Obama did. Okay? So may she rest in paradise, but let's talk about it. Assata Shakur, a Black Liberation Army member who was convicted in the 1973 murder of a New Jersey state trooper, has died in Cuba, where she had fled after escaping from prison. Okay, this is what Cuban officials reported today. She was 78 years old. Her conviction for the murder of Trooper Werner Forrester and subsequent escape garnered her a permanent spot on the New Jersey State Police Most Wanted list. The state sought long to extradite Shakur, also known as Joanne Chesimard, but Cuba granted her political asylum. thanks to Fidel Castro, whom the U.S. demonizes, by the way, has always done so. The Cuban Ministry of Foreign Affairs said she died in Havana of health complications and advanced age. The civil rights activist and convicted murderer had continued to be a top priority for law enforcement officials over 4 decades after she broke out of Clifton, New Jersey prison. In May of 1973, Shakur and 2 other members of the Black Liberation Army, BLA, were pulled over on the New Jersey Turnpike by Trooper Forrester and another highway officer. During a confrontation, a shootout ensued, killing Forrester and one of the passengers in the car. Forrester was 34 at the time of his death and left behind a wife and young son. Shakur was wounded in the shootout and arrested. She was later convicted of first-degree murder. In 1979, 2 years into her life sentence, she was broken free from prison with the help of other members of the Black Liberation Army and fled to Cuba, where Fidel Castro granted her asylum. Shout out to Fidel Castro. May he also rest in paradise. I don't care what the U.S. thinks of him. Shakur made history by becoming the first woman to make the FBI's most wanted list and become revered by some activist groups for her anti-sexism and anti-racism activism prior to her conviction. Born in Flushing, Queens, Shakur grew up in New York City and Wilmington, North Carolina. She became involved in political activism at Borough of Manhattan Community College and City College of New York. Okay, so with that all being said, I'll likely repost one of my videos that I did about her sometime today. Okay. I'll likely repost one of the videos that I've done about her sometime today. So with that all being said, Lillian X says, exactly. Shout out to Fidel Castro. Yes, absolutely. Okay. With that all being said, this whole thing about this woman getting kidnapped over there is real crazy work. And like I said, you all better be, see, here's the thing. People get too comfortable, okay? People get too comfortable going out of town on vacations or whatever and just thinking that it's all just about fun and having a good time and tourism and all of that, but forgetting that you could absolutely be in danger. And let's not forget all those people that were complaining a couple of years ago about what was happening over in the DR. You all remember that? People were passing away over in the Dominican Republic when they were going for vacations. There was one couple that said there was some kind of chemical that they felt had been sprayed into their hotel room while they were out and about, and they came back and, almost passed out. Just a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Okay, so people have to be very careful. All right, and I would not advise anyone, specifically women, going to these countries by yourself. How do you have a vacation by yourself anyway? Okay. That's all crazy to me. Okay, so we're almost out of here, but before we go, let's talk about Ramika, because interestingly enough, Ramika's baby daddy, Carlos Losos Way, came back on social media yesterday. All right, he came back on social media yesterday and he had a whole lot to say. So let's go to it. And I just happened to be looking at my phone when I got the notification. Okay, so let's go to his page on Facebook. I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. And then he's all of a sudden posting all this stuff about Ramika. Don't post about her now, you demon. Okay, don't post about her now. Okay, so let's talk about it. This is the first thing I saw him post. Okay, this was 12 hours ago. He said, ain't nobody posting no good-ish. Ain't nobody posting no good-ish up. Everything negative. Then he says, why y'all keep lying on this app, Jaleesa? No. So she replies, Carlos Losos Way, where was the love or sympathy then? Okay, G, she is gone. I don't give a F what you say. What about Lil Los? What about my auntie? Y'all still living. She not. How can you explain this to him? You can't. What the F? But you could have did something to stop it, but you didn't. And I absolutely agree. Okay. Absolutely agree. They have every right to go in on him. Now he's want to post pictures of him and the son, Little Los, and Ramika. And then trying to go in on the family. And this is what he says. He said, I did everything for you. I ain't even brag about it or want the credit. Your mom know, Meeks. I didn't even brag about it or want the credit. Like, sit down somewhere, okay? Sit down somewhere. And then somebody says, Carlos, we can understand you hurting too, but you need to think about your son and Miss Tina right now. Coming on the internet a week later is insane. You opening up wounds that ain't healed yet. Read the room. And sometimes silence is better. And then someone said, she also says, then you giving strangers room to play with my friend name. That's not cool at all. And the reason she said that is likely because of those videos that he had, Quadri, okay, his so-called friend, the videos that he had him post trying to paint her as the aggressor, okay, and like she was the problem. But the bottom line is people have come out and said that he was actually stalking her. Okay, now let's go to this other page with Travel Island. Now this is somebody that's related to Ramika. Justice for Ramika. The whole world is with you, beautiful queen. You have really touched my heart. I didn't know you reading your story. I didn't know you. Reading your story broke my heart. I'm praying every day for you, for your mom and son, that God always be with them. I love the way your friends, and family are keeping you alive with the videos and pictures. Happy birthday to your son. Hope you enjoy your day with your family and friends. We're all here for your mom. Now, this is what they're saying to Los. He sound crazy. So you wanted to get her fired and you admitted that she moved and you didn't have her number. So why are you popping up at her job and your son's school? Now, that's another thing. He absolutely admitted to that. Listen to this. Stalker is crazy to me. This is what Carlos said. Stalker is crazy to me. I didn't know her number or address. And on August the 20th, if y'all know what she did before she recorded me, y'all will be like, for real? But moral of the story, I went up to her job and told her boss on her because she posted been on the clock. I loved her, but she used to be on my ass. Here's the thing. I want y'all to pay attention. Now he's claiming Professor Shakur is brilliant. Great news show. Thank you, beloved. I really appreciate your kind words and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, I want you all to pay attention because he's basically admitting to going up on her job and trying to get her fired. Okay, who does that? This is the lady that takes care of your son, fool. This is the mother of your child, clown. Why the hell would you go up to her job when she's supposed to be on the clock and snitch on her? Okay, I want y'all to pay attention. Then he tries to justify it by saying, oh, if you knew what she did before she started recording me, you'd be like, for real? No, I don't think they would. Okay, because we know that you used to put hands on her. And let's not forget that I showed you all the post where this guy said, after she died, he said, that's the same lady I saw the other day. And he said, Carlos, I don't think he knew his name, but he said he was trying to put hands on her. And he said, I was like, you better not put your hands on that little ass lady. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? And it has since come out that, yes, he was absolutely putting hands on her on multiple occasions. Okay, so the nerve of him. And then you have some of these people, you know, that are basically his family and friends. I guess they're trying to take care of, you know, take up for him or whatever. Okay, so somebody says, Facebook detectives, you all have it all figured out. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. Lean not to your own understanding, but that of God. I pray everyone on this page finds peace. There's a lot of demonic spirits on this page. Yeah, you're right. And Carlos is one of them. Judge ye not, lest ye be judged. God will do his work in his own time. May God give you the peace that passes all understanding. Somebody says sometimes you to let people talk 2 weeks later and now you want to talk. It must have been because of the address was posted. Yeah, that's another thing. I'm glad they brought that up. See, here's the reason he's likely online trying to explain himself even more so and posting stuff, acting like he was all, so loving of Romika, even though he didn't give a damn about her when she was laying there bleeding out. Because what was he doing? Oh yeah, that's right. He was fist pumping Holly. Okay, Quadaja. Holly Johnson. That's what he was doing. Now, so I don't think he, you know what I'm saying, wanted Romika to be here. This was all planned out methodically, in my opinion. And I think that he came to the internet yesterday because his address got leaked. So it has been said, and I can't substantiate it, but it's been said that he and Holly have been staying with Carlos's sister. And so yesterday, the address was leaked. They posted their whole house. They posted a picture of the residence, and the person who posted it is the person whose page I'm on right now, Travel Island. Okay, they posted it, and so that's likely why he's pressed at the end of the day. But if you ask me, if he really cared about her, he wouldn't be trying to, mess with her name after she's gone. And then here he is right here. He says, a lot of people really been saying crazy ish to me. Y'all don't know me. Then he's posting the pictures of some of the people doing it, I suppose. He also was complaining about the family not allowing him, to come to the funeral or whatever. Who the F is you? Who the F is this you've been posting every day? Your page is for content. Your page was dry as hell. You making money. Give that money to Tina McMiller or to my son. Yikes. You doing too much posting, address in numbers. I'm going to find out who you are. I don't know who he's talking to. Oh, he's talking to Travel Island. Ah, he's talking to this person that posted the address. Yeah, he doesn't know who they are, clearly. So that's, and that's probably why they put their name under that, because I'm sure that's probably one of Romika's family members, like I said. So anyway, let's go to Jaleesa Knowles' page, because that's who he was telling to stop lying on this app. She reposted, a baby daddy will have you thinking the mother of his child is a clown. The whole time she's a boss and he's the bum. Okay, that's true. At least in his case. There's pictures of Romika. They also have a petition on change.org. If you all could go on change.org, there's a petition that they want people to sign to try to make sure that they get justice for her. And you don't have to donate. Now, for those of you not familiar with change.org, when you go on there, I'm going to drop this link. When you go on there, they ask about donations or whatever. You don't have to make a donation to sign the petition. And just so you know that even if you make a donation, that donation does not go to the person who started the campaign. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Okay. So let me see what else is on here. Jaleesa said, I hope my cousin haunt y'all ass until justice is served. Here's Carlos on her page. Here's what she says about him. She says, public service announcement to Carlos's family and friends. I have observed your attempts on my post to justify his actions in my comments. Please recall the following facts. Number 1, he visited the son's school stalking Romika. Number 2, the following weeks, he's been to the son's school and her job stalking her. Number 3, his actions led to Holly's jealousy towards Romika. Number 4, he was the reason for the words between them. And 5, he was the reason Holly was present. 6, his actions led to Holly obtaining a weapon because Romika never touched Holly. Before you grown men come to my page to discuss him amidst millions of people talking about this issue, I suggest you check on his son. Tomorrow is baby Carlos's first birthday without the person he loves the most. Instead of portraying Romika as the bad person, tell Carlos he was wrong, period. Then someone by the name of Bobby says he was wrong. He is responsible for her death. Carlos Losos Way. Can't no woman beat a man, but a man can walk away. Okay. Somebody says don't stop speaking up. Don't stop fighting for her. Okay. Here's more pictures of her. This is all just so sad. The love you have and the shine you still have is bright, baby. Fly high, Million Meeks. You're literally everything. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, Carlos needs to sit down somewhere. And like I told you all, the bottom line is, yeah, he is. He absolutely is, Pearly. He is a piece of ish. Okay. Mel said Holly better get ready because Carlos is a dog. Let me tell you something. They both better get ready to go to jail because that's where they're going. Okay, that's where they're going. They could miss me with it. Wavy though, thank you, beloved. I just got done talking about Assata Shakur, beloved. I just got done talking about her. Thank you. Okay, so anyway, they're still doing an investigation. We don't have a lot of information. And Carlos is coming out, putting out these videos and stuff, trying to clear himself. That's all he's doing. And trying to, act like he was so caring about Romika and all of that. The bottom line is Romika, here's the thing. Romika was sick of him. Okay, that's why she moved. That's why she changed her number. Because people that want to say she was stalking him, she was not fooling with him. She changed her number, she moved, changed her address. He didn't have it. And then he was already coming up to her job and coming up to their son's school, okay, to harass her and all of that. And you mean to tell me you're going up there to her job trying to get her fired, telling the boss what she's doing? Okay, that was all just him being malicious at the end of the day. So Roddy said, better lock your doors. Mel says, I pray every day for Romika that justice gets served. I do too. I really do too, because, it's just devastating that his son has to now live without his mother. Okay. And like the cousin said, the person that he loved the most, she was a very attentive mother. And that little boy's birthday, she's not going to be here. And then here's the thing. He was going in, Carlos, that is, he was going in on the family because he's saying they won't allow him to see his son. Well, I don't think that he needs to see his son. Okay, you're the reason his mother is no longer here, but you think that you're supposed to see him? And then he's sitting there talking crazy, telling people to get the F off his page and all of this. Why is he posting if he doesn't want anybody on him saying anything? Okay. And he said they wouldn't even let him know, they wouldn't even let him grieve because he couldn't come to the funeral and all of that. So anyway, it is what it is. Bottom line is we'll have to wait and see what's going on, what the police have found out, if they've talked to the witness, because I thought the police took witness statements on the day that they made the arrest of Holly. Now they're saying the witness has not spoken to the police. So the witness has been going around doing interviews on YouTube, but has not given a statement to the police. I hope she does, because without that, who knows how this is going to turn out. They need to, get the information from someone who was right there on the scene, who saw everything that went down. Because remember, the witness says that Carlos was slamming the door on Romika when she was standing between her own car. Like she was standing in the doorway of her car. Why was he putting hands on her? How come he's not been arrested at least for that? Okay. And if she had a restraining order against him, well, actually, I think they said that restraining order was dropped in July. So I don't think she had a current restraining order against him. But I tell you what, Holly, you can tell she was trying to make a paper trail because she supposedly got her license to carry, according to some of the things I've been hearing. She got her license to carry in June and then filed a restraining order on Romika in July. And that just seems very much so convenient for me. Okay. And then here's the thing too. When she was, RK said the witness may be illegal. You know, that's a thought. She might be. I hope not. I hope she's able to testify. But yeah, I didn't even think about that. You're absolutely right. That could be why she doesn't want to talk to the police. Who knows? Okay, who knows? But hopefully she'll be able to give them some information. Otherwise, these fools could get away with it. Because like I said, they planned it all out methodically, in my opinion, and set up a whole paper trail and all of that. Okay. And here's the thing. Holly had ample opportunity to leave. She could have gotten in her car and driven off. She could have gotten in her car and locked the doors and just sat there and called 911. She could have done a whole bunch of things other than what she did. And then why did you have to shoot her 3 times? And then, she shot her in the face, she shot her in the side, and she shot her in the leg. Okay, she wanted to kill her. That's what that was. And why was Carlos, you all saw the video, why was Carlos sitting there just walking around like nothing happened? Like, I can't believe that, because my whole thing is, if you cared about Romika, why weren't you on the ground trying to do CPR, trying to stop the bleeding, screaming at Holly for shooting her? He didn't even try to stop Holly when she said, I'm going to get my gun. Watch me get my gun and shoot you. When she said that, he didn't even move into action. He just told Romika, oh, she's going to get her gun. But now we're supposed to think he cared about this woman? Like, get the F out of here. He was mad because Romika cut his behind off, changed her number and everything else, didn't want anything to do with them. And he decided that if I can't have her, nobody can. So he let his other baby's mom take her out of here. That's what that was. So anyway, I don't even want to keep talking about this story because it just makes me mad every time I think about it, that this poor child is never going to see his mother again. A mother who was so attentive and loving of him. Really sad. So anyway, listen, I may be back later. I may not. I don't know. I have some information for later. Listen, the judge has not made a decision about Diddy. The judge has not made a decision about Diddy. I don't know what he's going to say, but I thought he said he would quickly make his decision. So I thought he would have been done yesterday, a few hours, but no word has come in as of yet. But when it does, I'll be on here to let you all know. Okay, so everyone, please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Hold on. Winnie T said, Queen, we need you to be a detective. Well, you know what? I actually could be, because I have a degree in criminal justice. I could actually get a license to be a detective. But, here I am. Okay. I don't have time for that right now. I already have too much on my plate. Okay. I got my students, I got YouTube, I got all this stuff that I'm trying to do on the sidelines. And so, but I actually had thought about that one time years ago, opening up my own private detective agency. I don't know, beloved, maybe one of these days. Okay. So with that all being said, everyone enjoy the rest of this day. Each one, and listen, enjoy your strong end, not the weekend, leaving you in a weakened state of mind. Okay. Rashid said, Queen, start a detective channel. Not a detective channel. Luna said, hold on. Thank you, Queen. A great show. Detective, no, judge. Y'all are something else. Okay. And anyway, with that all being said, I'm still, listen, I forgot I had my camera off. I had turned my camera off for a second because I was doing something. I forgot to turn it back on. Anyway, listen, I may be back later. Like I said, I'm not sure, but I'll definitely be back if the judge renders his decision about what's going to happen to Diddy. Okay. Roddy said a private investigator. All right. We'll see. So anyway, I love you all to life. I want to thank you all for tuning in once again. Please like and share, subscribe to the channel and all of that. And do something productive. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther. shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got